So glad you could join us again. I am with Greg Engert, beer director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a James Beard Award nominee. The group includes the Sovereign in Georgetown. Haven't been there? You got to go. Down in Merrifield, you've got Red Apron, and right next door, B-side. Greg, it is always good to see you.
See you too.
It's not beer of the week, it's Kool-Aid of the week. No, really, what's on tap this week?
Well, this week we have just a crazy, delicious beer from your neck of the woods. I haven't even told you about this yet. Tacoma, Washington.
Tacoma, Steve Miller.
That's right. Engine House Number 9 is the name of the brewery. We were lucky enough to...
I've been there.
Have you really?
Yes.
Lucky enough to host Donovan Stewart as one of the brewers, along with the head brewer Shane Johns over at Sovereign recently. They shipped in some beer for the event. You'll see a little bit around our area. Amazing stuff. And what I think they do a lot of stuff very well, but what they're kind of spreading out for distribution is a lot of their mixed fermentation kind of funky stuff, particularly those beers that get to utilize the incredible bounty of fruit from Washington State. And that's what we have here. So this is called Wild Tacoma Cherry, and it's just that. 5.4% mixed fermentation wild ale, finished on a massive amount of locally grown Bing cherries.
So good, really. Wow.
From, maybe I'm pronouncing this wrong, Chelan, Washington?
Chelan.
Chelan, Washington.
Yeah, Lake Chelan is a big, very popular place, well, all of the year, but in the summertime.
There's Diamondback acres, orchards is what grows these cherries that they use here. So, yeah, all locally grown. And, you know, it's interesting, like, I mean, this is delicious beer. I mean, just
very good.
Incredible. And, you know, we always talk about beer versus wine, as beer is a little bit more egalitarian. You can brew great beer in any corner of the globe because you can get your hands on the hardy grain, some hops, some water, some yeast. You're not tied to the land quite as much as obviously winemakers are. I mean, they can only ferment and blend with what they have. There are certain breweries like Washington State and even in Oregon breweries, they just have access to fruit that we can't get our hands on. And so it's kind of cool. This is a beer that is filled with terroir. I mean, you could not make this beer in DC even if you tried, because we just don't have the fruit. And that's not to take away from the beautiful blending of the beer or anything like that, but it's fun to be like, go there, visit, get your hands on it, because it's a singular flavor experience you can't replicate.
I'm so glad these guys are expanding and out here. You know, it's called Engine House Number 9, as you might expect. They're in an old firehouse.
Early 20th century.
Yeah, and it's very cool. I've been there once, and what I really appreciated about them, I tried some of their beer. I can't remember what I liked, but they just don't serve their beer. They serve other local craft brewers too.
Which helps them getting inspired.
Yeah, and it's just a very cool setting, so it's good to see that they're branching out. I went to the University of Puget Sound in Tacoma my freshman year of college. I mean, I grew up in Seattle, but yeah, Tacoma's a good town. The Dale Chihuly Museum, Glass Blowing Museum. If you get a chance, if you're out there, visit Tacoma.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So it was a firehouse in the early 20th century, and then apparently it was a tavern in '72. But then, this is what I couldn't believe. This brewery, the first Tacoma brewery, Engine House Number 9, was established in 1995. So they've been around for a good time. And,
yeah, and I didn't.
Shane and Donovan took over a few years back. They kind of came in and kind of revitalized the brewing operation, and have just been gangbusters since. So it's a really, really cool brewery.
Dynamite. What would you pair it with?
So it's a great beer for your veggies of all kinds, right? Your greens are going to be great with this, arugula, kale, you name it. I can also see doing it with like clean desserts, vanilla, ice cream, just a straight up cheesecake would do well with this. And then on the meat side, nothing goes better with cherries than duck. So duck, nice roasted duck would be phenomenal with this. And then I always love having cherry beers with acidity. To me, are great with stews and barbecue. Whether you're doing like a sweet Texas barbecue to showcase more of the fruit, or even acidic, like, you know, sour North Carolina barbecue to play up some of the acidity. I think that'd be amazing.
That's great. I think people are going to like this.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Evergreen State. Greg, thank you as always.
Thank you, Brennan.
Everyone, please always do drink responsibly and be sure to bring your thirst next time for another Beer of the Week.